So another general, right?
Yep, very first page in general, once we go live,
Thank you.
and we are live.
Morning. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're reconvening our budget workshops for the budget that will go into effect in 2027 for Jefferson County, Indiana. Where we're gonna start at? County General, right?
County General Clerk's Office. You might wanna, I had some suggested items if you wanted to go over, anything on that first. The first two things before we get started.
Well, one of the items, first of all, there's two items that I think are probably the greatest priority is the raises. I would like to entertain a motion to give everyone a 3% raise.
Yes, and what, if you guys make a motion today to do a 3% raise, I'll plug those numbers in. Of course, we would have to still finalize the budget and send everything to the state to get those final approvals in to be sure that that's the amount, but that would be a starting point for me.
Okay. If someone has.
I'll motion that we do the all the raises to 3% of
Unless otherwise stated
yes.
when we get to them.
And this is a COLA, right?
Mhm.
Considered COLA.
So, and we can come back and modify.
Yes,
Okay, all right. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so moved. And the insurance rates, from $9,250 to $9,500. I'd like to entertain a motion to bump that up a little bit. Does anybody?
I make that motion to raise from $9,250 per to $9,500 at $250 increase over last year.
Okay, second on that, Ray. Black, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right,
And that being out of the Commissioner 0068.
yes.
so we just gonna go through page by page and
Do
county general.
you, do you want me to just go to the line item that's not affected by raise, and then you guys just, I'll read and you guys agree, or if there's a change, make a motion?
Okay, okay.
Okay, so the first item in the clerk's budget that is not considered under the 3% raise, she did not ask for anything additional. So we have training for ISETs at $100, which is the same as last year. She requested $3,600 in office supplies, which is same as last year. Bank fees $400, same as last year. Official records $2,000, same as last year. Postage $5,000, same as last year. Travel $1,000, same as last year. Southern Indiana district fees $100, which is the same as last year. $2,000 for stationery and printing, same as last year, and association dues at $475, which is the same as last year. Does anyone have any changes they would?
No.
Okay. Well, I will move
And
on.
we really don't need, obviously this is a little different this year than how I know through my terms has historically been done. We don't need a formal motion to then approve that clerk's budget before moving to the next. Those motions would be made for any suggested changes.
Right,
only.
just for the
Okay.
changes, yeah. So then, the next budget is the auditor's office. Auditor level compensation, 2,500, which is the same as last year. Part-time, $2,000, which is $1,000 less than last year. Office supplies, 5,000, same as last year. Postage, 700, which is the same as last year. Travel, 500, which is the same as last year. SRI postage, $2,000, which is a $500 increase. And association dues, $1,200, and last year it was $925. Or, yeah, $925.
I'll make a motion to approve the decrease in part-time to compensate for the increase in SRI postage as well as association dues.
Second. All in favor of that?
Uh,
All opposed? So if there are changes, then we need to, I need to run that through. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, and then we move on to the treasurer. The treasurer has part-time at 6,000, which is same as last year. Office supplies at 4,100, same as last year. Postage, 12,000, which is the same as last year. Travel, 400, which is the same as last year. Tax notices, 9,500, which was the same as last year. Rave, community warning system, $2,300, same as last year, and association dues, the same as last year.
Motion to accept. A second. All in favor? Aye. Since there was no changes at the, who did we do at the very beginning? I let that slip.
The clerk's office,
So
you wanna go ahead and go back and make a motion?
yes, I would like to
Okay.
entertain a motion if there's no changes in Tabitha's, in the clerk's budget, in the budget.
I'll motion no changes in the clerk's budget.
Got a second on that? Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Sorry, guys, yeah, first time I've done this.
Okay, and then the reporter's office, she had requested a part-time budget and she had also requested a travel budget. So office supplies, she requested the same as last year, $2,000. Postage requested $200 instead of $50 last year. Association dues $750 instead of $650. And then she had requested $400 in travel, and I am unsure on that part-time amount she had requested.
I'll make a motion to approve those increases in postage, association dues. And then create a line item for travel and include the 400 that she's requesting.
Okay.
I'll second that motion, additional travel item as well.
But there's no other changes, right? We're not gonna.
And that number would still be the same. You know, that travel, what is that, 32220?
Yes, and then I will be adding that $400 line to this budget.
Okay, so, but we do need, on the part-time request, we need to motion to approve or remove this request, right?
Her motion did not include it.
So. I would like to entertain a motion to accept, the recorder's budget and then the changes that we've made.
Pam made that
With-
motion, and I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then that brings us to the sheriff's department. Okay, so, the first non-raise effective. Okay, longevity, 25,000, which is the same as last year. Overtime budget, 45,000 last year, they're requesting 60,000 this year. since there are several here, do you wanna just make the motions as the changes come on this one?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
Okay,
how many.
because there's so many.
Please.
So is there a motion to accept the 60,000 for overtime?
I like entertainment.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it, cause it's necessary.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay.
With the goal also with that approved overtime will help this department, limit and control, accumulated comp time.
That was, what was it, 15,000 over last year?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
They're watching it.
Okay, and then canine handler, 11,000 last year, 11,000 this year. Animal control equipment, 1,000 last year, 1,000 this year. Field training, field officer training, 2,500 last year, 2,500 this year. Instructor, special instruction. I'm not sure what that, it's 9,000 last year, 9,000 this year. Merit board is 1,680 last year and this year. Office supplies, 12,500 both years. Gas, oil and lubricant, 150,000 last year and this year. Tires, 12,000 last year, 12,000 this year. Garage and motor supply, $60,000 last year, 60,000 this year. Printing, $5,000 last year, $5,000 this year. Drug testing, $1,000 last year, $1,000 this year. Radio equipment, $20,000 last year, $20,000 this year. Postage, $1,020 both years. Travel, $10,000 both years. Canine expense, 7,500 both years. Clothing allowance, 35,000 both years. Leads online, $3,000. Meth check, $2,000 both years. Radar certification, $1,000 each year. Less lethal force option, $3,000 both years. And investigative fund, $10,000 both years.
And the longevity line item that is not in your 005,
I read that one. 25,000.
Yeah, it was first one.
thank
Yeah,
you,
it's right before the overtime.
thank you,
Motion.
sorry, I missed that.
I'll motion to approve the, line items on the sheriff's department.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. So since we split, this is for my education, since we're splitting this budget up between county general, he's got other line items in other areas, then we separate those.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go as we, just in numerical order.
Okay.
Surveyor's office is next. They requested $1,000 in part-time last year and this year. Office supplies, 1,500 both years. Printing, 1,000 both years. Postage, 300 both years, and travel, 1,000 both years.
I'll motion to approve. There are no changes in the surveyor's office budget and approve it for 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed.
County coroner requested a raise to $30,000 for the pay for the coroner. Do you have a motion to accept that or to only approve the 3%?
Did you say 30 or is it 30? I see 35.
They requested 35,000.
Okay.
And the year prior it had been 29,120.
Okay.
We did. We did.
I am prepared to make a motion for the additional $1,000 newly requested for part-time position. A new,
Okay.
I take it, sorry, that's my fault.
There had been changes, so the changes that had been requested is he requested a raise for the elected officials.
Yes,
He requested a $2,000 raise for the first deputy. He requested a new second deputy,
that's what I meant, I'm so
and then
sorry.
he requested basically to raise all second deputy pay to $7,000.
I apologize, I was looking at the wrong line item and trying to read my notes at the same
You're
time. I was going to make a motion to
Approved.
approve the additional request for a new corner deputy at the same current pay scale for,
So currently, the second deputies make 6,500, 3,200. They're nowhere.
I think they.
and I guess I would think we may need to address that. With the pay disparity, I think this is pretty historic for the coroner's department. But in regards to this individual assigning duties, and obviously someone who is earning a higher stipend has additional responsibilities and or time invested in the position. But with the significant difference in pay, is there a benefit with us taking the lower tier position, which he's requesting the same pay? He requested 7,000 for 2027. If we are not approving that increase in pay, do we not want to label that other position as a third deputy, and or if the new position is approved by this body, do we? And to me, it seems so odd to keep those at second deputy when one could be receiving 6,500 and one may be getting 3,200.
We could bring them all up to 7. I mean, that is what he's requesting, keep them second deputy. Then that would have all second deputies making the same thing.
I would go with you, but I would keep all of them at second deputy, but not put the hyphenated one on there.
Right.
So that they're all the same at 60. I wouldn't care 7,000, 6,500
right,
with the, if we do 6,500, we could do the 3% increase on top of that.
yeah.
So that we get
Well,
a consistent.
I guess for me, I would prefer not to see that increase. Historically, if we are looking at a change in salary ordinance and we have justification from leaders asking for this pay increase, and here's the reason why it's warranted, the extra time, the higher skill set. Regardless, if this body agrees for a higher pay increase, typically that pay increase is at a substantial increase. We don't, indeed, that's what they get then moving forward. Now, next year, they may see the increase, but you know, if a salary increases by $5,000 to then add 3% in addition, I will be honest, I'm looking right now through my notes. Do you all remember in regards to Josh's request and what he really needs to have a functioning, stressful department, was the request for the new second deputy position greater than his plea for the price for a salary increase? He asked for both. He wanted a higher pay for the elected official position, but also all deputy positions, but in addition, asked for a new deputy position. If we're not able to do both, do you all remember?
I do know that additional person. I have notes documented saying that this person, they're gonna need someone to handle the FOIA requests that come in. Also a new system required by Indiana, Code Hero, the violent death surveillance. So I made some of those notes.
For the new position, and I know the request was also mentioned that the new position could potentially handle some social media presence when he talked about some campaigns as far as public safety and trying, targeting, drinking and driving or whatever that may be. I though also have in my notes that not all deputy positions are spending the same amount of time. So if it, and some of that falls on him and jobs that they're given to do, and certainly the flux department, where we're not in control, and we don't have the same number of deaths and coroner cases and autopsies that are being covered every year. I feel like we've got a couple things to address. One is, are we approving an extra position? And then two, or we,
What's more important?
yes, are we fighting for that salary increase as requested? And if so, are all deputies getting the same pay if they're indeed doing different duties and or maybe allocating
So
variable?
to Heather Foy's point, Council Foy's point, maybe one of those, that last one be third deputy, maybe at 45,
Right.
and then you get one new second deputy, and so you have 2 second deputies, let's say 65, and then a third deputy at 45. Something similar to that. I'm just throwing that out there. And as far as Josh is concerned, I think that there was, we talked about maybe a 6% for him, possibly. What do you guys think?
Say we set his salary a certain thing and no
Okay,
percentage,
okay,
Right.
And obviously, we've done
if we give him a raise.
some
Okay.
research and looking at other comparable counties. And so obviously, we had 4 positions, elected official. Am I correct? In 2026, the first deputy was at 13,000. A second deputy at 6,500 and a third deputy at 3,200.
Yes.
I do like the idea of if the disparity is there, labeling a new position if approved at a third deputy level. I would prefer to see to keep the little disparity in.
so the new position would be the third deputy.
Right.
Okay, I got you,
Second deputy -1 and task
I got you.
So would it be, make sense to make that third deputy what the current 3,200 second deputy is? And then bring both second deputies to equal pay at 7?
Yes.
And then that's what their pay is.
I could go with that.
I like that.
That is a substantial. Okay,
So we got a third deputy, and what were we, gonna pay them?
With the second 3,200.
35 or
3,500.
I thought we paid them the 3,200 since it was a new line item.
It is 32, well. Yeah, for
The newly
20
created position.
right, for 26, the previous second deputy, the lowest paid was at 3,200.
Right. And that's what I was saying.
yeah,
create-
and are we looking to know would that position then be warranted for a 3%? The other 2 would not be with the pay increase, or do we bring that brand newly created position, third deputy, do we start it at 3,500? Half of the allocated amount, and obviously none of these positions that have seen an increase in pay would include an additional 3%.
I like that.
I like
So
that.
I will make a motion that we create a new, which would be a 5th staff member in the coroner's office, third deputy, with the set pay for 2027 at $3,500, that stipend. And then the 2 second deputy positions increased to a $7,000 stipend. And I'm gonna make a suggestion that the first deputy position should increase at 14,000, not quite what was requested. That is double what the second deputies are making. That certainly warrants the additional duties and time spent for this department. So that is providing really both requests, not quite at full requested level, but that is giving them an extra staff member and an increase in pay.
I think
for
it
now
makes
the 4
sense,
staff.
because now you have that clear
Clear.
incremental salary. And I think that makes sense.
It is.
What are we doing with
Double
the
it up.
coroner's
Yeah.
position?
I left my motion right there with those.
I will
positions.
second that motion, Heather.
All in favor of what we've changed so far?
Aye.
All opposed?
Yeah, and
What are we
now that needs
thinking
to be
about?
addressed.
Now,
What do you guys think?
now we're doing this different on the corner.
I just know that this was
Only elected
not,
officials.
this was the last public hearing that we had. We had discussed what a 6% raise might look like on that 29,120. And that was 30,867.
I'm gonna recommend that we, bump the coroner's position up to 32,000.
That's what I had.
And,
Is that pre-raise or?
That's
Not
pre-raise.
No,
That's no
across the
raise.
board, okay. Right.
That is his raise.
or
So Ray made the motion for 32,000. Is there
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then all other line items are the same, and I'll go ahead and read those real fast. Part-time professional contractual, 1,000. Professional dues, 1,500. Office supplies, 1,000. Forensic supplies, 4,000. Fuel, 3,000. Toxicology, 17,000. Autopsy, 90,000. Travel, 2,500. Development film, $200, and vehicle maintenance, $3,000.
Before anything is approved, I don't believe, Heather, I think you started, when you just read through those unchanged, non-salary impacted line items, I believe you started with the professional dues. So just to clarify for record, with the addition of the newly labeled, we labeled it as a third deputy, there, we are not, are we removing the $1,000 part-time?
I think that what it's part-time professional contractual.
And yeah, that line up.
So I think it's when they have to contract to,
it's another county or something.
right.
Okay.
It's something they've had, but it's not actual part-time hiring someone.
Gotcha.
It's when they have to have a professional.
I didn't think that was
How
that
is
summer
it?
intern stipend.
Professional correct. Contractual, where did he pay Claire out of? Do you know? I don't know what her
I don't
system was.
know.
I'm gonna assume she,
Was free,
that was,
pro bono, whatever, yeah,
So-
internship and.
Yeah, real quick, since we made some significant changes in pay,
Mhm.
is there anything we could move down and from professional dues to vehicle maintenance? I mean, in that line, clear down there.
I would assume his professional dues is his coroner's association fee that he's required to pay.
do we have, is that difficult for you to look up? You know, as a mid-year that hadn't been paid yet, and we never know when
It's
those are paid.
typically, well, like
Is it
mine's due at the
$1,500?
beginning of the year. Well, it probably, some of them do it by a flat rate. I know mine goes by, I think it's $25 for each of my staff members and then 1.5% of my salary.
Are we able to see if that was paid last year? And again, this is one thing we told Josh last year in regards to the fuel, the things that he could potentially be doing in kind. Knowing, shared storage space, when we look at some in-kind support from King's Daughters, from Morgan and A, we do need to, to keep these line items in here for professional dues, office supplies, fuel, which, we want that tracked, recorded and reported. Travel, development film, when we're seeing it mid-year, none of those have been spent. It's hard for us to justify. Are those same dollars gifted for next year? Are they needed? Instead of, paying him back at the end of the year for all that fuel, we can't continue to do that. We have to do a better job during the year. I just was curious, particularly for the, not necessarily $200 in development fuel, but the travel plus fuel combined, that's $5,500. And then, the office supplies and the professional dues. We're well aware that on most years, the forensic supplies and toxicology and autopsy are.
I think his budget is so ever changing, you never know what
That's on there.
his need will be.
Yeah, but like office supply and professional dues though,
Professional dues, I would definitely leave that because I feel like without a doubt, we pay a professional due for him. Office
I
supplies,
recommend to leave them in there, because at some point, that office. May relocate or for whatever reason down the road. And if we can leave these in the budget, then we have more of a clear definition of what that office might require if we weren't utilizing some of their supplies.
So
I wouldn't argue over pennies because they probably go in the hole. Providing the service for us.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna removing the line item as a whole, like you said, in the future. When you know that's needed, I just didn't know if the professional dues is that spent each year. Is, I mean, or if it's dues total or only $600, then why do we need to leave it $1,500?
I'm trying to get my system up so that it will, but it's slow whenever I'm not.
And the toxicology too, that by the end of the
We
year,
just
he
never
usually
know.
uses that.
Right.
You gotta leave that in there, that's big.
So-
Gotcha.
So are you guys motioning just to accept?
I motion to accept the remainder line items within the coroner's budget as there was no change, and accept those for 2027.
I second.
All in favor?
Right. Who do we have, I know this is a little department, not necessarily, yeah, it's small in comparison to many. Do we have a liaison for the coroner?
We did have somebody this year, I can't remember who it was.
I think it was me.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, I know we asked this, I went back to my notes, we'd asked that same thing for Fuel a year ago, and this year he said that he do a good job this next year. I just feel like specifically some of those things, in fairness to him, his profession, his business, and to help this county for future in case the coroner's department is indeed a standalone, fully supported and funded by this county, those particular things that could just be, oh, it's all right, I already got it covered, I use my own paper. Office, not even professional dues aside, because hopefully that is being expensed and turned in as appropriately and it should be. But office supplies, fuel and travel, those three things especially, we just need, you know, whether it's a quarterly update to, the fuel log being kept, quarterly
Yeah,
update
they
to the.
indicated on here, July 1st, they created a log that they're trying to.
Yeah, we just, I need to, so that we really know how much fuel for the coroner, how much travel is costing this county.
I remember when Josh presented, it was very impressive, just as he went through the whole rate. Did we talk about what the potential would be that if, for instance, if we got divorced for the location, what it would be expense to the county to have to provide in-kind like facilities that would support the coroners?
He said mid-year, he was giving us a proposal for a standalone coroner department.
He,
That's what I wrote down.
he has, I know that I had spoke to him and the coroner has been working on, figuring out what a base, like brick and mortar would be and separating all those out, because he said you only need a bay and a very small workspace. So he's trying to figure that out. And he's beginning to also look at how many units would be required, whether it just be one or two.
Yeah, the realities are that you have to have refrigeration, you have to have.
And yes, all of that.
We do have a freezer.
County purchase.
Yeah, that's true. Is that out there in Hanover?
Yeah.
Stored?
It's not more in there.
Or in there.
Oh, okay. Well, we got it during
Well,
COVID.
A few years ago, I had asked Rodney to send a list of everything, all the equipment that would be needed, and he did that. Emailed it to us. You know, it's like a hydraulic lift for
Yes.
gurney for
Yes.
Transfer, yeah.
and it was quite, you know, anything medical is expensive anyway, so. It'd be a big upfront cost for us if we had to start one.
Right.
And it probably would, even if an association with a funeral home wasn't here, I mean, there's still going to be some in-kind, you know, if it's an accident scene, there's gonna be an ambulance on scene, so, yeah.
Whether it's the hospital.
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to completely dismiss and separate all quote in-kind support, cause there's going to be shared resources with
Mhm.
police and definitely with EMS, right?
And I think that's a big task. I think maybe if he went back to Rodney's list, I'm sure it's a big task on top of what getting called out and doing his normal duties.
And the inflation over when was this? When he said, you said several years ago, so things,
Well, it was at least 3 years ago.
you know, so. For 20%.
It looks like last year professional dues were $1,350.
So it is being spent.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I just,
Right.
we just close, it's one of those
We do need to see the writing on the
pitches
wall there.
that
for
pitch
sure.
may come our direction.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take a swing
Do
at
right.
it.
Or
Yeah, and we may have to
to Josh.
locate it out.
Next year you get those numbers, or is he gonna do it?
Maybe you make
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
part of it.
get rid of the high jump pit.
So are we done with the county corner? We're ready to move on to.
Yeah.
Yes.
The county assessor is next. The county assessor's office requested a 6% raise in their budget request for all full-time employees, including the elected official.
They get 3.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's a motion to reduce that to a 3%.
Anybody got a second on that?
So I'll second.
All in favor of reducing that to the 3% that everyone's getting? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, and then last year, part-time was 6,000, this year 6,000. Level 2 is 4,500 both years. Level 3 is 1,500 both years. Office supplies, 2,000 both years. PETA BOA, 1,500 both years. Postage, 100 both years. And association dues, $750 both years. So with no other changes, anyone want to accept?
I will motion to accept the remainder line items within the assessor's budget for 2027.
And got a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Educated, what's Peterborough?
Property Tax Board of Appeal.
Thank you. I say, I'm accurate, as a military guy, I like acronyms, but sometimes I can't code break them.
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
Prosecuting attorney, so, the first request he had made is the deputy prosecutor line that has been unfilled. He is requesting to move $7,500 of that to a prosecuting attorney summer intern line. And requesting to leave that remaining $21,674 in a supplemental line that he could use to bring in qualified professionals.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Before we vote on that, how much was that was gonna be remaining?
21,675.
And that's gonna be a
Or
new,
674.
and so that's a supplemental,
Yeah. One right there.
75, so
Or
he-
no, this one right here.
yeah, right here. But he said he wanted 7,500 for the intern, and so this is the remainder out of that.
Right.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. All right, so we got a second on
With
that.
the justification, obviously, for knowledge, public knowledge of that our number of prosecuting attorneys as well as salary is far below kind of industry standards and even for our area and comparable counties. So hopefully that will help him bring in those qualified candidates.
For the deputy,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay,
Did we have a
we
second?
had Ray Denning made the motion, Pam seconded, we just need a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then, prosecuting attorneys, council dues, 600 both
Do we
years.
need, may I stop? Do we
Yeah.
need to, motion to accept the remaining items in the, this one? Are you reading those now? Gosh, I thought we already done that.
Office supplies, 5,000 both years, printing, 500 both years, legal services for depositions, $7,500, postage, $1,800, state witness fees, $4,000, and those are all unchanged.
So I'd like to entertain a motion, to accept the rest of these line items as just been read.
So moved.
You got a second?
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
The county extension office, part-time help went from $6,000 to $5,000. Office supplies went from 3,200 to 2,500. Teaching supplies went from $250 to $0. Contractual services, there was an ask to bump that to $140,000. From $58,823. Postage, 1,500 to 250, and travel, 4,000 to 500. During budget session, I recommended moving the 60,000 or the $58,000 line. Instead of having that amount in county general, moving the full $140,000 contractual amount to lit. And it has been advertised to move that over.
Okay, I will let you know that I have been in contact with Ripley County, as we've discussed. They have a contractual agreement. It has also increased. Yesterday, I was with Austin Joliffe in the Franklin County Auditor's Office. I think you know the auditor, but he's gonna be the following. Her predecessor. They had an increase as well. It was 50,000 for Franklin County. They don't have as many services. However, their council rejected the increase. So the next step is it will go to legal and the attorneys will be involved to negotiate that. So just kind of letting you know what other counties are doing. Some are going ahead and saying yes, and the other, some counties are pushing back and letting it go through the legal channels to determine what is fair for the county.
And obviously, as a reminder to the public, being a recorded meeting, yeah, this is not even, the request is not from our public extension office, this is request is contractual assigned to our county from the state, they're telling us that we, have to go.
Right.
Purdue
23,
University, yeah.
40,000 for Purdue University's contract. And I will say, when I asked, is this how kind of explain the matrix of how they're determining, is it by county size, is it by services? I really continue to scratch my head.
It's by service and population.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we have such a substantial increase.
this amount would lock for 2 years, and
Right.
then when the new census came out, if our population changed, then.
It either goes down or up.
Yeah.
In 29.
It's based on the population on the last census,
Mhm.
so that would make it 140.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Correct.
Franklin counties went up by 50.
Up by 50.
Yeah,
So did
we went
Ripley
up by
80.
almost $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were previous at 58,823.
And we went up to 140.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I talked with the auditor's office up in the other county. I also talked with Ripley County just to get a census of how it's being dispersed and are they seeing the increase? They are, and for me, it's a contractual agreement. We're not, even if we would say no and then it would go to the attorneys, we would pay attorney fees.
Right.
And then we're gonna have to pay it anyway because it comes from the state.
And pay the attorney fee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So as a guy that
and
had,
it is big talk out there, so I just wanted the public to know that why there's an increase, we needed to explain that a little bit and say it is what it is, and we just need to pay it.
And I think, by them putting this, there was little to no warning about this now.
Mhm.
This is a perfect time to reach out to Purdue and have those discussions before that next contract change.
Which will be.
That is unacceptable, for our situation.
so, regardless of the amount, as a guy that grew up on Lake Erie and vacation land, when I came down here to teach, I was overwhelmed somewhat by all the ag and all the FFA and all the stuff that goes on and all the touch points that the extension office has. And it's a tremendous amount of, so you gotta ask yourself as we consider this for our constituents, what's the value added? Is there value added? Is it worth the cost?
Because his duties are changing and, I mean, are we, if this is
Yeah, and
three
Rick,
times the amount, are we getting 3 times more support
getting-
now?
Well, there's a whole new full-time person that'll be in for support.
and he's taken on, of course, other
Four
regions.
counties.
4 counties, yeah.
Original.
And I think he did a good job explaining it, I mean, he was in our camp too, and realizing that it's a big ask.
It
We all
wasn't
feel
his
bad for him.
decision.
Yeah,
It
he
wasn't
didn't.
his decision.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
He was just the
That's our
messenger.
plight, so, you know.
He was the messenger.
So I did do some digging on that for the council and, we're not the only ones that are gonna impact this across the.
Well, that gives us a couple years. It really would be nice to know exactly what we're receiving. And I mean, I know they're doing some good. I know that, but I think it'd be incumbent upon us to have a better idea of exactly what's going on with this kind of increase anyhow.
But I think you're
Well,
right.
they do have a lot of
The legal
services,
fees, I
yeah.
think it could eat up a lot more than.
Oh, then,
than
the
just
$80,000
going ahead and
increase, yes.
That'll be our budget next year.
We're 10,000 more people than Franklin County.
Yeah,
That's a, yeah.
yeah.
We do need to pursue this a little bit, but I think this year,
I think we're just kind of,
So I think, if you remember right, Britt's, explanation why our increase was such a big increase
Mhm.
was because Lonnie Mason had negotiated and kept those so low before it went to a uniform compliant, so we are feeling the
Forever grateful
increase
for that.
from several years where we had no increases.
well, and I'd hate to see interruption in service, so it's.
Absolutely.
What's available will allow the fluidity to make the changes that he needs to do in his organization as they switch over from a single county to multi-county and then new people, it's.
And I think we're smart to move that to lit, and I appreciate obviously, the reduction for him with some other line items.
Mhm.
yes.
Right.
Trying to support a small way.
So I'd like to entertain a motion that we change that contract, the new extension contract, that $140,000. And move it to lit, a new line item in lit. And we've already advertised that, right?
Yeah,
So,
so I'll motion to move the contractual agreement with Purdue, to lit for the amount of $140,000
And accept his
and accept his.
budget estimate.
Mhm. Thank you for the guidance.
thank you for that, yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I respectfully abstain.
And Gary's gonna abstain from that.
We understand.
Okay, the next,
He's around the dinner table.
the next budget request is, BSO. There was, I'll look down here really quick. Okay, so there were two main requests. The first request was the secretary position that is currently at part-time at $20,160 has been requested to be made a full-time position at $33,600.
This is something we didn't talk a lot about. Talk some about it.
And this was, so I think this is the first year with having two full-timers and a part-time person, 26 is.
Significantly more staff and support, I know, than when I first started on council. We're certainly proud of the increase in pay we've been able to get them over the years, but also manpower.
That was for the secretary to assistant.
Secretary.
Secretary.
The BSO assistant has been full-time for at least a year now.
Well, I definitely think she needs something because it's a very important office. And, they do a lot.
Maybe those will cut down on workload.
So is there a motion to accept the 33,600 full-time position?
Was that a motion, Gary?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
What was the amount again?
$33,600 for a full-time.
I'll second that.
So that we're taking this from a part to a full-time, right?
Right.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain.
and I would,
Oh.
Something better.
I understand.
I think, Mike, you're the liaison, Faith even admitted during her budget proposal and sharing some numbers with us that she was dealing with too much comp time. That is a department that this, body of seven knows that, that can't continue.
Correct.
That's costly for the county. So, yeah, when there's a slow day, staff need to leave, she needs, if we're increasing a part-time position to a 36-hour full-time position, that staff need to be limited to those hours, finishing work duties at another time, closing the door when it's supposed to close. I know that's hard when we're turning somebody away, but keeping consistent office hours, at best.
We're talking, you're talking about $13,000 more dollars. If you can get that comp time now, that'd pay for itself pretty quick.
And she uses her budget very well as far as, the expenditure already after a year. And I really don't see anything unless you all,
Our
There's one-
veteran population is aging, so it requires much more touch, and follow up and transportation and assistance, so. It's when you got a young veteran population, it's less needy. Although I'm getting there. In my
Getting young.
age, but I respect what they're trying to do and they do a nice job.
There's an additional ask for a new line computer update. This is for a new VetraSpec account and signature pads for secure email.
I know that they got a little grant from the city of Madison, they'll go for that. I wrote down a note, is there an addition, is there an opportunity for equipment upgrade from a Coon fund? I know she said their computers are. General hold.
So, right, it's all offices are kind of, so outside of that computer maintenance, everyone's supposed to be requesting those amounts outside,
Right.
so,
Just,
yeah.
Is that every, even your office, I mean, all offices are doing this?
Yeah, so, there are, I know I have an equipment line in a line where I collect money from deed processing, and then I also have another equipment line in a Cume fund, but I think this will be a minimal expense that she won't have to have this much every year.
I was gonna
so
say,
it's a
hopefully
one-time.
that's added, we could, hopefully that, yeah, it shouldn't be that line item, even if we kept the equipment line items. Plus computer line item, hopefully it would not be that same amount. And then she said they're trying to go paperless, so, the postage, obviously, I think is already down. She requested the same amount. I know we're not gonna worry about pennies, but I suppose there's a possibility we could lower that a little bit with hopes that both the postage and the computer line item would be less, for next year's ask.
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept that computer update line item for $2,500.
I'll make that motion.
Got a second?
Second.
Okay, right.
All in favor?
I-
All opposed?
Okay,
So
so
now do we have to do the whole budget now?
if you wanna do that, just to accept
So I'll
the budget
accept
as
this.
is.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept this budget with the changes made.
So moved.
All in favor?
I-
Oh, got a second.
Second.
Oh, yeah, second, sorry. Did you second, Pam?
No, Gary did.
Gary second, okay, all in favor?
He slipped it in there.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next budget is the commissioners, Department 68.
So
So
the water.
it's like the very last one now.
Oh, that's right. We moved it.
Okay, so,
Sorry.
The first thing that I would recommend changing is last year, Human Resources received a $2,500 stipend after receiving a certification. Can we move that $2,500 into her normal salary line?
Heather, I'm catching up. Where's this at?
Commissioners, Human Resources.
Oh, human resource.
I was gonna, thank you, Heather, I was gonna say, that was one of my notes, I was gonna make a motion to combine. And remove the 11300 certification stipend line item, adding that to the human resources salary line item. I mean, that's a 4,500, no change, just combining those.
And then she would qualify for the 3% raise.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. I will make that formal motion to combine those two line
I will
items.
second that, Heather.
Help you with this.
Yeah, I was gonna go.
Thank you. I
Okay.
don't completely
So
understand.
there's a line item called certification stipend.
Okay.
That's
She
right.
received that amount last year only after she received certification.
Uh,
So now we're just adding it as a permanent part of her salary.
Okay, I'm there now.
got it.
It's not a salary increase, she will
Combining
be
these.
eligible for the approved 3% or
And
suggested.
she certified, so
Yes.
that needs to be
She's
added.
at 45 and then.
So that makes it 45.
45, and then she'll be eligible for the 3%.
Alright, I'm with you.
Okay,
right.
so we had Heather motion, Pam second.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay, so moved.
Okay, the next item, there's been discussion during department hearings that soil and water be a standalone department. So with your permission, I am removing part-time soil and water, the secretary for soil and water, which will receive a name change in the new. And then soil water conservation over to the new department.
I motion to make that move.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Alright,
All opposed?
Okay, I guess
You need to read that.
we should probably just make a motion to adjust the social security perf and unemployment to suit the
Okay.
raises given. So I will have to do that eventually. I do not have those exact numbers until I plug everything in.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjust those down according to the moving of the soil and water.
And the
Department.
raises, because
Right.
these social security perf and unemployment lines are for all of county general. Okay, so then the next,
Well, do we need to second that?
oh yeah,
Hold on.
sorry.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
The
Sorry.
the next item, there's been a request for sanitation officer, which is currently 2 part-time employees, to add a third part-time driver. And to increase that budget to 60,000, from 50,000 to 60,000.
And before we approve or deny that, was there discussion of changing that line item to actually, it's not gonna be called truck drivers, we're keeping that? Or was that just a note to myself, are we keeping it listed as sanitation
I
officers?
do not have a name note, but I can, of course. If
And it may
that,
not be needed, that may have just been a note I wrote to myself.
or I could put trash or sanitation truck driver so that we know more.
Let's do that.
Okay,
We make the 12520 in commissioner sanitation and trash truck driver or I would make the motion that be moved from 50,000 to 60,000, approving one additional part-time. The hope there, particularly with changes that were just recently announced, with our trash schedule, knowing it is still certainly a value in comparison to other paid services. But But obviously, having trucks that are liable and drivers that get to each site as we had promised citizens is important. So hopefully the addition of the part-time driver will help us maintain that consistent schedule, so we're not missing weeks, missing locations. So when people proudly purchase a trash car, they can get their trash disposed. I would make that motion that go from $50,000 to $60,000.
Okay,
We'll wait for their progress.
Second.
Will wait for them with.
We'll have to repeat the
Oh, yeah.
motion here in a minute.
there was a motion to approve the 50,000 to 60,000 on sanitation officer. And to change that name to sanitation truck driver.
That's for the third part-time.
Okay,
Heather made the motion, Ray Denning second. We have a vote.
All in favor?
sorry.
Health insurance, we've already made a motion to increase that to 9,500. Council dues, $250 unchanged. Mental health service, 278,522 last year. It is now 293,376. That is a number set by the state of Indiana. Dorset Consulting went from $5,000 to $6,000. That was our most recent contractual update. And that is locked in at 3 years. County attorney they want to change that name to attorney fees and change the amount from $40,000 to $40,250. Do you
Okay, let
want
me
to make
ask
a
you
motion
this.
for that one?
So you said two on the mental health services line item. What is the new total for that? Cause I got 278,522. You said it's 293.
293,376. The
Okay.
state has released that number now.
Okay. So I would like to entertain a motion to approve all these changes.
Second. All right, I'll make a motion.
Got a second? Gary, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that takes us through county attorney, right?
Did that,
Okay,
the name change, what's this gonna read then? Just
It's
attorney
going
fees or is it
to
gonna be county
attorney-
attorney fees?
it's gonna be attorney fees.
Okay, thank you.
So then that takes us to travel expense. There's been an increase requested from $5,000 to $6,000. There's been a training expense line increase from $4,000 to $6,000. Do you wanna,
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those two changes, one from 5 to 6 and travel expense and training.
I will, not make that motion, but I want that we just, any chance we can to avoid a substantial increase. I'm gonna make a motion that the requested travel expense, increase by 500, that new line item be 5,500, and that training increase, only by 500 as well, from the 4,000, as stated for 2026 to 4,500.
okay,
I will second that motion.
All in favor of that, or those two changes?
Aye.
legal advertising 3,000 unchanged. Workers' comp, 210,000 unchanged. Official bonds, 5,000 unchanged. Care of wards, 3,000 unchanged. Burial of veterans, 35,000 unchanged. Southeastern Plan Commission, $13,258 unchanged. Dues and subscription, 6,000 unchanged. Waste disposal, 145,000. It is updated to 149,500. This is an increase per interlocal agreement for the city of Madison to dispose of the trash from the trash truck.
Is that your transfer cost transfer.
Yeah, so when they go to the transfer, that's what
Okay.
we're averaging now. And then county media is $1,000 and that is unchanged.
Are you able, Heather, I had in my notes, I failed, my error to not look that up. Was that spent, for example, last year?
County media?
Yeah.
So what we use that for is when we have to do updates and buy things for the owls. This computer, because that was previously paid to someone to provide coverage for the meetings. As we're now, we have to live stream and we have to have that
Okay,
equipment.
so that's not legal, you know, obviously it's not like the county's paying for bulletin boards or fancy paid ads and the media.
No,
Even our notices that go into the media,
that's under advertising.
yes, that's not under, okay, I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
no,
So
this-
that's not being spent year after year.
No, this
I'd rather-
county media is, and unfortunately, the nature of how. What I have came across is the owl works fine one meeting and then the next meeting, it's just completely dead and we need to find one right then. So it's important that we have a means to get that.
And as some of us know, previously that paid service where staff with fancy video cameras were coming in to take, that was costing us a lot more.
Yes.
Than utilizing the newest technology, so, okay, and like I said, I just wanted to.
So Tom would not know when the cameras were in here and how much that line item was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
We took a lot of grief over
Money.
that when we
Yeah.
eliminated that.
Yeah,
Okay, so with all the changes that has been made throughout, is everyone good with accepting the budget as is now? I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do you remember what that line item was? Was it $15,000 that we used to pay?
I think it was close,
Fairly
yeah.
close, that's what I thought.
Okay, plan commission is next. And there is. No changes, I believe, so I'll go ahead and read that budget.
Okay.
It is office supplies, $2,000, printing, $1,500. Education and training, 1,000, litigation, 10,000, cell phone, actually. Yes, cell phone went to 0. Postage, $250. Travel, $500. Legal fees in consulting and drafting is $5,000. And publication of legal notices, $1,000.
Okay, he didn't spend any last year in legal fees and consultation. I'm sure he needs some in there. Does he need 5,000?
Potentially, yeah.
Depending on
One case.
Just a
One
question.
case,
Okay,
wipe it
there you go.
out.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
All motion to approve the proposed line items for the plan commission.
Okay, we got a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody curious why he doesn't need a cell phone anymore?
I think we did read the policy so that there's not cell phone seconds.
I'll check.
For anyone.
we all use it for our
Smoke
work.
signals.
We can't pay for everybody's.
Absolutely. Smoke signals.
Everybody does it.
Flashing light.
Okay, Mike Glarum and the county courthouse budget, which is basically the courthouse maintenance. So he has requested to take part-time help from 35,000 to 50,500. This was so that they could do more without having to hire contractors.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to approve the 50,500 or?
Yeah.
Okay,
15,000.
We got a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of that move?
Aye.
And he does a lot, but sometimes you need two bodies to.
And
do the
let's
big
keep an
project.
eye then on that, those contractual dollars,
Right.
to make sure those indeed are decreasing to justify that.
Are full part-time helpers?
Actually, no, I probably need to take that out. I do not know how many part-time he
Because
actually
2 to 3.
utilizes. Right, 2 to 3. At one point, it was, more because we had people push mowing, stuff like that, and we found that it's actually a little cheaper to do the contractual on the mowing aspect.
So we'll change that to 2 to 3.
Yeah, I'll change that number to 2 to 3.
Thank you.
Okay. Office supplies, 2,500. Requested, it says removing archivist supplies from lit. So, but they have staying the same at 2,500.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
I
I didn't either, like, okay.
Brian did he have some office supplies?
He
that were being
did
filled, or-
have office supplies, but I don't know that it was actually being utilized out of that fund. I think he's just been coming and using their office supplies. So I think that's. But I think they just want to remain at 2,500 and then keep. And then know that the archivist supplies are also coming from this.
Can we reduce it to 500?
Reduced by $500 or all the way down to 500?
Reduce it down to 500.
So I think this is the office supplies for the commissioner's office, for Mike Glarum, and now for Brian.
So it would be used.
Oh, yeah,
Okay. Then I'll recall that.
okay, and then janitor supplies from, it stayed the same, 13,000, and utilities, 150,000 staying the same.
Entertain a motion.
I'll motion to
Accept the
accept that as presented.
Okay, got a second?
Pam. Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're
Okay.
The next budget is Superior Court. Our first line item, special judges, 500 unchanged. Office supplies, 13,850 unchanged. Conference, 750 unchanged. Pettit juror, 13,000 unchanged. Witness fees, 100 unchanged. Postage, 2,400 unchanged. Association dues, 400 unchanged. Lodging and meals, 1,350 unchanged. Psychiatric services, 15,000 unchanged. Law books, $552 unchanged. And certified court interpreter, $5,000 unchanged.
I move that we accept that.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All
Circuit court, we have office supplies of $4,000 unchanged. Law books, 2,000 unchanged. Per diem grand jurors, 1,000 unchanged. Per diem pettit juror, 50,000 unchanged. Postage, 3,600 unchanged. Travel, 3,000 unchanged. Telephone, 150 unchanged. Per diem judge pro tem, 500 unchanged. Association dues, 570 unchanged. Lodging meals of jurors, 4,000 unchanged. Psychiatric services, 10,000 unchanged. Secure juvenile placement, 90,000 unchanged. Guardian ad litem, 30,000 unchanged. Guardian ad litem billable, 6,000 unchanged, and certified court interpreter, 5,000 unchanged.
like to entertain a motion to accept that.
So moved.
I've got a second.
Pam. Me.
All in favor? All opposed?
Do have one question and then one, obviously it's already public, it's in the requested budget, but if that change in staff, that court reporter, obviously, do we need to make note today that the 2027 request was at 49,451 that had been at 52,144?
So,
Changes.
effective in the middle of 26, there was a retirement of the court reporter when she had made her pay last year was $52,144. Since he has a newer staff, he has reevaluated and kind of moved his salary amounts around. So, the request for court reporter was actually $49,151.
151?
451, I'm sorry. And then court bailiff was the same as last year, the 48,166. And then the probate supervisor remained the same. The full-time staff member mid-year received a raise. Previously, it had been $38,672 a year, and mid-year, there was an increase to make that $44,946. So
Sorry,
that would be the starting point, and that pay amount had already been approved throughout
Sure.
2026
Okay.
throughout the year.
My only other question, I didn't think when DJ was here to ask, but work duties, I mean, obviously he does it every day, all day at the courthouse, but what would he be expensing to a $3,000 travel line item?
So
What would be his
when
travel needs?
It's assigned to a different account.
when he goes to, I think not only is it travel for them when they have to serve at other places and then we get reimbursed for that. But I also think it is, when we have to pay to have a different judge come in to do. So if
Like
we
that
have a
line.
judge appointed in for a case that our current elected cannot hear. for
Sure.
whatever reason.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, oh. And you guys accepted that one, okay. All right, so probation department, I have been requested that, so it's only salary line items. The only item in here that has something different is the pre-trial supervisor is similar to the bookkeeper position in court services, and due to grant allocations, Ani and DJ have relayed the message to me that the positions that would normally get the 3% raise or whatever the council decides upon, due to their funding being reduced, they would request that those raises were not given, as probation officers and judges also were not given raises this year.
When that's separate from the
So,
probation.
right,
So both, and there is a difference in pay requested for juvenile probation.
that was because of a statutory
Yes.
requirement.
So
So,
both of those, the pretrial supervisor and juvenile probation, would not receive the 3%.
so juvenile probation would receive the increase due to statutory requirements.
Even beyond this, what they said is statutory?
No,
No, it would.
to this, because his years of service went
Yes.
over the amount. So he went
Gotcha.
from 58,473 to 64,321. They're requesting that pretrial supervisor stays the same,
And that was the only one that.
and that's the
stayed.
only one, and everything else stays the same too.
Thank you for clarifying.
Can I
Yes,
just a motion?
Motion.
Well, who's getting the 3% here?
No one's getting it through.
No one's getting the 3%?
No.
Okay,
no,
okay, I was just wanting to clarify. Okay, so I'd like to entertain a motion to accept
I
this.
will make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then next is public defender. So the budget is unchanged. Public defender contract still at $539,123. miscellaneous disbursements at $100,000, and then they kind of moved that within transcriptions, depositions, and initial hearings. These amounts are reimbursed to the county at 40%. So we just need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, weights and measures. The budget is unchanged. Office supplies, $150. Approval seals, $450. Travel, actually, there is a change. Travel was increased to $750. I believe I requested that update because I saw how much was used last year and we had to cover that. And then association dues, $75, unchanged.
I'll motion with the $750 increase to accept this budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, building inspector, so there's a office supplies, $1,000. Code books, $500, printing, $1,500, postage, $500, travel, $7,000. And they removed the cell phone line item.
Don't have to ask again on this one.
It's the same, we did across the board last year.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I'll make a motion to accept this.
I can second that.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, emergency management. So office supplies, $1,500 unchanged, public information, $1,000 unchanged. Fuel, $3,000 to $3,500. Office systems, $5,200, stayed the same. Postage, $100, stayed the same. Building and grounds, $15,000, stayed the same. Travel, $500 to $1,000. Telephone is $2,600 to $2,500. Vehicle maintenance, $1,100 to $1,500. Vehicle repair, $1,500, remain the same, and training, $1,500 remaining the same.
I would like to entertain a motion to accept Matt's emergency management budget.
I would motion to approve the increases, decreases, and then the unchanged line items for the emergency management budget.
Get a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, are you ready for a big one? This is the jail. So. There has been a request to bridge the gap between, there's a pay disparity for the assistant jail commander. There's been a request to increase that by $4,000. And then it would then be ran through the 3% raise.
To entertain a motion to accept that.
I'll motion to, close the gap between the assistant jail commander and jail commander. That will have an increase of $4,000 and be eligible for the 3% salary increase for 2027.
Get a second on that motion.
Second.
Sorry, Heather, no, wait a minute, Heather, what do you want to say something?
I just, were we all okay with the additional 3% on top of that? Because obviously historically, when we make an increase, have changed to a salary ordinance, and we have tried to do our best to justify and listen to the request and make a decision if we can increase that pay. We typically don't add.
So by adding, I have already ran the numbers, if you wanna see what the 3% looks like. So a 3% increase on the jail commander takes the pay to $59,740. If you do not give the 3% raise, the assistant commander would make 54,000. If you do give the additional 3%, it takes the assistant commander to 55,620.
Before we go,
Did we look at what area, surrounding area jails have for those salaries?
There's not a comparison on that one.
Stuff to do it.
Yeah,
Just.
what
I
do you guys
believe
think
the
about that?
commander is within, but the assistant commander is not listed in my back book.
My opinion is if we move him to 54. And then the jail commander gets a 4% increase, but because we moved him to 54.
3%?
Yeah, the 3%, sorry. The assistant jail commander, and he stays at 54, there's gonna be a discrepancy still.
And then the goal was to close the gap between those two
Yeah.
positions.
So,
Okay, I just wanted to mention that because.
So we could actually amend that and say, well, move it to 55,000.
right,
And as we did similar to some pay compensation last year. Make an amendment and change that to just 55 with no raise, and then that keeps that gap there of the $4,000 after raises were given. If that would make people feel comfortable.
So what Pam's wanting us to do, or suggesting we do is go to 55, but no 3% raise, right?
Correct.
And then the 3% raise, over the 58,000 for the jail commander, let it go ahead and, so they're still.
Does that make sense or no?
With the 3% increase on the other, so that would be, that means next year, the gap between the two would be a $4,740 gap. It's currently an $8,000 gap, and that was the hope to bring it about. However, I just know, again, when, staff fighting for each other and everyone, hoping for pay increase to know, well, he got a higher pay, but also got 3%. They changed the salary ordinance and increased my pay, but I didn't get the 3%. I just didn't know if we wanted to try and stay consistent, that if we are changing a salary, I'm one of seven. I just was gonna make that suggestion.
Is that an easy adjustment for you to make in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the motion of what we're entertaining
calculate.
is that the assistant jail commander go from 50,000 to 55,000, but not receive a 3% raise. And the jail commander, he will remain at 58,000, but will get the 3% raise. Those are the two things we're discussing right now. Does everybody understand that?
Which one's 50?
It's $1,500.
I'm okay with that if everyone is.
40 for the jail
It'd
commander.
be $4,740.
I would like to entertain a motion to accept those.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is there any change on the 11175 title?
As long as it's.
No change on that. No increase.
Okay,
As long as it's the same as.
Well, wait a minute, I'll
1.935.
address that in a minute. Let's do that separate.
okay.
Okay, so 55,000 for the assistant jail commander. Is there a motion?
I'd like to entertain a motion.
I have the motion.
All
Second,
right, who wants to, Ray second,
And
Ray
Ray.
Black. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay. So matron. 11175. And jail major. Have been deemed to be similar in their job responsibilities, and they are by statute paid the same at 57,000. Are those to be included in the 3% raise?
As long as we do both, because
By statute, they have to stay the same, so are we going to apply the blanket increase to those two positions? And I believe there's another position that you guys,
Maintenance.
maintenance,
Facility maintenance director, isn't it?
yes. And if they receive a raise or not, or 3% or not, is what I need to know.
Yeah, there was discussion with Judy's recommendation. Salary in comparison to other positions with responsibilities to justify that higher salary. And so we would need it if we were considering those three positions not to be included in the blanket 3% raise, we would obviously need a motion on the floor for that, for 1, 2, or, well, it'd have to be 2 or 3 or none, because both the 11175 and the 11935 have to stay the same, so one can't get 3% while the other does not.
What do you think?
I would say give them all the raise, because you can't punish anybody for.
Yeah,
Gary.
I would agree with what Ray did.
So I would like to entertain a motion that all three get the 3% raise under the blanket raise.
I make that motion.
Would anybody like to second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Is anybody opposed to that? Okay.
Okay, the next item is jail control room. They are changing from 3 employees to 4 employees. That was done mid-year in 26, asking to use some of their part-time money towards that. That makes their initial request before pay increase 176,000 instead of 132,000.
I would make a motion to accept this change for that line item in the control room to 176,000 for 2027.
For that fourth position.
Right. Mhm.
So
I'll say, then what happens with the jail overtime?
Yes, well, that's what they're hoping with.
Right,
They're pretty sure that's,
down there.
as much as they can assess that they think that's gonna really drive down their overtime.
Well, it was the part-time.
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 But
Right.
on the overall,
Okay.
on the balance on the rest of the folks.
Part-time jail would stay at 34, does it change?
No, they've requested less. Whenever I get down there,
Okay,
okay,
And we've established for safety and cadence in the department that is essential.
Right.
So I have motioned that. Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're 3 to 4, right?
Right.
and I have I'll change the name on the budget book. Okay, jail overtime, there is a request from 30,000 to 50,000.
I have a note if we are adding, a jailer, additional individuals to the jailer line, that we could reduce the overtime to, I think it was 30,000.
Back to
And we had
30,000.
been 30.
I would like to entertain a motion that we reduce that to 30,000 because of hopefully what we'll do. Of course, we're gonna discuss the jailer here in a moment. So I would like to entertain a
so
motion.
motion.
Have we got a second?
Bam.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Consistent at least.
And one issue to counteract the other.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, sort of.
Jill, part-time, to offset the expense for the control room change, it went from 34,000 to 7,500. You wanna accept that motion?
I would like to entertain a motion to
So moved.
for that reduction. Okay, got a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Household, 20,000 stayed the same, institutional supplies, 41,000 stayed the same, bedding and linen, 12,000 stayed the same. Jail officer uniforms, 22,000 stayed the same, inmate clothing, 10,000 stayed the same. Contract part-time commissary went from 48,000 to 0. there's a new commissary plan in place that we do not have to budget for.
We have to make a motion for that change from last year.
Yeah, just to stay uniform, I would.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the change from 48,000 to 0 over last year.
So moved. Second.
Pam second. Ray's motion,
Yeah.
make a
makes
motion.
we'll say.
Pam second. You just stay the second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Postage, 4,000 stayed the same, travel, 6,000 stayed the same, medical and hospital, 75,000 stayed the same, less lethal force options stayed the same. There was a request during the hearing to have an additional, if we were to do an additional, jailer, to do that in numbers of 2, so that one could be added to each shift with their 12-hour shifts. It would be my recommendation, as public safety can be used for staffing of the jail, to add 2 jailers to the public safety budget and add them with a July 1 start date.
Both of them.
Both of them.
And what's that number? 1170?
1170 under all other.
1170 under all other in public safety.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have that number.
Here.
Hold on. Yes,
47,000 each.
two jailers starting, so they can actually start on 6/27. They would receive 13 pays throughout the year, and that would be a total of $48,408.
Times 2, right?
No,
No, that's for sure.
That's it.
13 pays. It's only half.
It's only
That's
half.
That's right, okay.
I make that motion.
Second.
Gary, seconded.
I'll second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then just to accept the jail budget.
Entertain a motion to accept the jail budget.
So moved.
All right, ready? Anybody second? I'll second it. Mike, will let Mike second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Brady.
Okay, the next budget is child support prosecutor. Office supplies, 1,800 unchanged, printing 600 unchanged, postage 3,150 unchanged, travel 1,000 unchanged, and repair of equipment 400 unchanged.
I would like to entertain a motion to accept that budget.
Moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
The newly created soil and water conservation department. The request is part-time soil and water for their summer intern, $3,000. The secretary, soil and water, there has been a request to increase that comparable to a first deputy in the courthouse. I have in for $44,751. And then I would need to know if that raise you wanted to move forward with, and if that raise was then eligible to stay on the same pay schedule as the first deputies.
I think that we probably need to adjust the salary to stay consistent, but adjust it to what the 3% would be.
Okay, so with a 3%, we would be adjusting that salary to $46,093.
And we're gonna change that title.
Change it.
And we're gonna change it to, and what was that?
Office manager or,
Something of this.
So water admin.
Yeah,
Admin.
yes.
yeah.
Okay, I will add that titles. Instead of secretary, it'll be soil water admin. And it'll be $46,093.
I'll make that motion when we proceed.
Okay,
Need a second on that.
I'll second it.
All in favor of that change?
Aye.
Those changes, actually.
okay, and then soil and water conservation, $12,000. That is what we have been giving to that program for the last couple of years.
So I would entertain a motion to accept 0750, the soil water conservation budget
As a whole.
as a whole, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
We could take a little break before we dive into the
Yeah.
health department.
Well, we can. Okay, yeah.
That should be the last one, County General.
Yes, that is county general in its entirety. And if you want, I will go ahead and pause the recording. Oh, I know.
Sitting source. I'll go back to that now. Thanks for the breakfast piece, Pam.
Oh, you're welcome.
Grab a protein shake, and I knew you said you were bringing breakfast.
Because.
No, I will not do that because. Do not do that because there is still history, but I think it's.
Ray, did you hear the announcement yesterday that,
I don't, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. We might.
People can take caution out of service, but they can still do
Yeah,
right.
I'm not sure. Let me check if that pauses the live stream. I'm not sure.
Maybe I got.
No, you're good.
No, I think we're doing right, whatever.
That the fit girls got back problems and so do the rest of
I'm thankful I don't.
All of
have
us
that
are
problem.
running this morning getting up, even the fit girls.
Yeah.
so
Well,
bad.
she and my, they already worked out this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
They were doing that.
See,
Bar thing.
I tell you what,
That's what I'm going.
If you're feeling that right now,
Yeah.
look into taking collagen protein.
Good.
Because I just,
On the, for your back,
for your back or joints, period. Cause they.
Equine testosterone, I think.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying,
Equine therapy.
collagen protein is the new,
Hope that didn't sound
if you
stupid.
take it, you take it regularly. It's better than glucosamine or congruent.
really,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I did a cheerleading for the extension,
Yeah.
so you didn't have to, right? Because,
Well,
I mean, does it make sense
I don't
that I'm
like
like?
I don't like it. I don't like what they done.
but I was glad that,
But
it-
it's, I
But it's
look at it as a
essential to-
very cost to keep a successful
Yeah.
momentum going in this
and we're not
county.
the only ones that are being
Oh, no,
impacted
no.
with the increase.
I can tell you.
I can't believe Franklin County is,
Testing it,
yeah,
go
cause I was like, I asked Austin yesterday, I said, do they realize how much you're gonna pay in attorney fees?
Well, your 4-H extension, whatever you put a value on that, and I know some, not everybody can have a value on that, but
To follow the whatever.
that will,
So it's-
if you can keep that,
Mhm.
it may be worth it, plus just the value of how your new employees in these positions proceed with their duties too, and you gotta look at that for years going forward.
Yeah.
and it allows for it to keep their feet to the fire, because they get
And
paid
he,
more than that.
yeah, and the pressure will be on him and all four of those counties to improve
Yeah.
those,
They're served.
they're serving. And I can tell you, he's had, some trouble with some other, already, they don't like it, they don't like it, I understand.
Oh, well, because these other counties probably aren't, there's more rigor here than in a lot of counties.
That's right, that's exactly what that's all about. Yeah.
So
I
it's
think-
live streaming.
I'm hoping to get a
You're
little
still live
post here at
streaming.
It
noon
is
time,
live streaming.
that post done with training.
Sold it.
At that point,
They do.
So.
Yeah.
They go to.
okay, and he should be done with
So everyone's aware.
Robin Sage, the capstone for special forces, so we're hoping that'll be huge, okay?
No, one more. The fall, we know the one.
I don't think-
Conference, but,
Answer.
Great.
For cheerleader.
No, compared to the phone.
Right.
class.
I was just making everyone aware.
Communication class, feel that Lotus Center professor that's going, but you know, what a great opportunity for our kids, once every 4 years to get to play in a game in Scotland.
Right.
In Germany, what a difference, we need to get to take a major class. You know, 2 of them were history classes, this last one was, it was a little unique, it was an attack, we kind of studied the blue zones, but yeah, we're at a full opportunity. I mean, yeah, it does not for me, obviously, It comes with the price tag.
I didn't bring them.
Are you?
Well,
Maybe until we pay for their claim.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, that ain't our-
Fees.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So you're looking at about $6,000.
Right.
So we'll pay three and three.
I say our trip to, our game is in Greece. The Greece and we'll be on the southern, Sicily coast of Italy. It's right now, they're hoping it's 5,200 is what they're anticipating. It says in the syllabus 6,000. I'm hoping it's not that much, it's expensive, yeah. But
We'll have to, how long?
on Saturday,
Huh?
How long is this work?
Just, Dwayne's gonna go over and get a soda, so.
Okay, I have to go put downtown.
Mhm.
Then take my medicine and. So you guys go ahead and start with that. one.
Okay, we will. Yeah, I felt bad when you guys had paused when I went to the restroom,
I
but.
told the one I have.
Yeah, you know,
This is on quicker than I thought it would,
Mhm.
Of course, we don't have an audience either.
Yeah. There may be some people watching.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Right. So.
there'll be a backlash in most of your.
Somebody's watching, they have no life.
Exactly. Because this is boring stuff.
It's boring when I'm here.
That coroner's office that Josh is doing. I think. Oh, well. I know he's working on that, but he just didn't have it ready when he came to budget and he ran out of time. He had part of it ready, he ran out of time. And he said he just needs to bring that back, not during the budget session, but during, when they're meeting. So put on there. No.
it's on.
Right, she said I paused it, but it's still going.
And
I have no idea.
Nothing really, my nose.
Oh, I know.
She paused the recording, the live stream, so.
I got a preview plan.
Okay, gotcha, okay, yeah, just didn't know how that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's sort of.
So we don't soil.
And the direction
I
of
know,
the
I
Department of
was-
Agriculture in Indiana.
And especially our, locally, our auction
Again.
Right,
would be a sizable amount
Right.
to pay. You're not paying tax on it the whole.
right, there's a lot of big changes. We have a new. In the federal government, Miss Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture, and
Really good.
there's a lot going on. And we'll see how that plays out.
Okay. So I'm wondering if I should just cancel at this point, or because it's still live streaming and I think a couple of them ran somewhere.
Yeah, how,
I can, here,
like stop it and then start it again, or?
yeah, I just canceled out of our live stream session.